Blast type has a lot of characters, and let's figure out which ones are the top 10. Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through a video about blast types and the top 10 of them, and we're gonna talk about each of the character, if they need their artifact or what CTP you should equip and what's the use of the character. I put 10 of the one that I believe like I'm using most, and also has still value until now to go and build them whatever date they took their last uniform. And I'm gonna break down a bit in which game mode you should use each of them and what's the meta use they have. So let's go and start with number 10. But before we start through that, guys, I want you to make sure that you have smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and hit me down below in the comments with your top 10 for Blast or an idea for top 10 in the future, like a separate category, a separate top 10 for timeline battle or something you would like to see on the channel and in the top 10 playlist that I'm gonna include down below in the description. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Hex, and Hex is a character that you actually need specific things to make her work. You need her paywall uniform that you can pick up only during the holidays of how it's called, Halloween, of course. I forget it. And the fact with this uniform is that you need the Halloween uniform. But the moment you get the Halloween uniform, you get the maximum out of your character. You don't need artifact separate to get the immortality. You don't need anything else. You just get here and use here with a 7-second immortality. That it's kind of different than the others immortality, because for this one, after the 7 seconds ends, she dies immediately. But the point is that she helps all the other zombie characters to have access to this immortality. And at the same time, it removes all debuffs, and at the same time, buff the characters also. So from the moment I bought this uniform, I'm using it every second week of Otherworld battle. You can see that the top players having here, combined with someone like Captain America or Doctor Strange or Wong or other zombies, you can make a really busted team for Otherworld battle, and you don't need to tier 4 here. You don't actually need to have a good CTP on here. A Mighty Grid or a Mighty Destruction would help. I've seen people using here with an energy. I've seen people using here with authority. Whatever you use, the point is for here to stay alive and deliver procs, or stay a bit more alive with a defensive CTP and go through. Grid feels to be the best, but I'm using Mighty Destruction, and in my mind, she's really busted. Of course, you don't need here artifact, you don't need anything else. You just have to go through and buy the uniform, because as I told you, the moment you buy the uniform, there is this, there is the removal debuff, there is the buffs here, and here passive ability also transforms into the immortality, this one. 7 seconds, all zombie allies. It's kind of weird, but still works amazing. The last 3 months I'm using her more and more. Other than that, for PVE, she doesn't have a lot of value to no value at all, but for Alliance Conquest and Otherworld battle, she is really busted and makes you having a really strong team, even without building the team, spent for your Captain America. You just drop him a CTP to do damage, and he can go there, stay alive for 7 seconds plus after his life is end, and deliver pain into the enemies. So that's the only reason. And let's go into the number 9. Number 9 is Gambit, and Gambit can be used with a CTP of energy to perform better for World Boss Legend or generally PvE content. But if you want to go for ABX and ABL, you want to equip a CTP of Rage. He used to be the best for ABL for one specific day. He was really close to Silog, which is really strong too. but now he is replaced for being the best of the ABL. So most people focus their builds into World Boss Legend, and because he is here for like 2 years, he gonna get something sooner or later. But still, with this uniform, he is really busted, one of the strongest characters in the game to participate in one ABL day, and also for World Boss Legend. For PvP, his value is way less, and in the same time, you don't actually need his artifact. Having the artifact or not does not provide a lot. Seems like a lot, but in paper, you know, but when you use it, you're gonna figure out that you can't actually take advantage, you know, you're not getting a lot through this. Pretty much as I told you, this or energy or distraction, mighty distraction or mighty energy or normal energy, and raids or mighty or brilliant raids. You don't need absolutely to have mighty raids or mighty energy, but for distraction you need to be mighty or brilliant. So let's go into number 8. Number 8 is SAR Rogers, and SAR Rogers has a paywall uniform that does not provide you anything, you know, nothing actually unique into the game. You're getting a female blast type, the best in the game if you play under specific circumstances, you know, if you get damage and you can accumulate the damage. You can't go and use here for ABX and ABL, it's only World Boss Legend or GBR, you know, the PVE content. You can use here with a proc, king, obelisk, or energy or distraction. These two are the best. Mighty distraction and normal energy or mighty energy. Other than that, the character does not do anything else. That's the downside, and the fact that she is seasonal and she doesn't bring anything new into the table. It's kind of sad. You can use her with the previous uniform and have great success. But the new uniform gives here the 4 skill V-pad that helps you a lot to go into accumulation or avoid the damage that can kill you, and you know, play smarter with her generally. It's way easier to play actually. The damage is quite similar, it's not like it's day and night, but yes, in my mind, you know, she's the number 1 for damage in World Boss Legend if you accumulate. But all this that needs you to do, it's lame and I don't like it, and that's why she is in this position. Number 7 is StarLord, and he just took a uniform. He is really busted. You don't actually need to invest a lot on him. With the mighty raids, he can perform perfect for ABL. He is the second best from alien category after Gladiator, which cost like 9,000 crystals. The next option for free to play is this one. You can use him with an energy or with a mighty energy or mighty destruction, but this is gonna be a pain and it's really disgusting to try to play with this for ABL. You know, I'm not recommending that to you. For World Boss Legend, from the other side, he's really strong with the raids too. I made a video like a couple of weeks ago and he did miracles with the level 80 build with a mighty raid, so do not sleep on him. Perhaps he's not the best, but he is top character for real. His play style is really easy to play for anyone, and you can make him work either way for any PvE content. Also GBR really strong. I remember a little lady he was doing miracles, but yes, you have to consider also that he and Cable and these two until now, I think they have also you know, team up collection that they can get advantage through it. Cable, one of the main reasons he's still in the top of World Boss Legend rankings is because of that, and also StarLord has from Guardians of the Galaxy. So the better your team up collection is, the better the character is going to perform sooner or later. As I told you, I didn't told you actually, but he doesn't actually need his artifact. You don't you know, you don't need to buy it, you don't need to spend on it. The build is pretty basic I have, and if you go and watch the video, he was really strong. And mighty raids to normal raids doesn't have a lot of, you know, difference. It's pretty much the same. He's cool for ABX too, but still not at the top of the meta. Let's go fast forward into number 6. Number 6 is Human Torch, and Human Torch is one of the best DPS for World Boss Legend. He has really specific tags, you know, human, blast, male, and there are not a lot of needs on him for ABL and ABX. There is only one day that he fails miserably ABX, but the point that he can do way more damage than the second one with his tags, you know, it's makes him he can works with a judgment or a proc, but procking is gonna be really hard. Judgment is my suggestion, and even if he is free to play, he delivers damage that you can't see with other characters consistent. He is close to StarLord, but yes, I feel like he's better and he can take advantage of better buffs, you know, from elemental characters. And elemental characters generally, because they have all these buffs and they can take advantage of the team up collection, 5% fire here, 5% fire resist there. He can get a lot of boost, and you can see him fly through content. He's good for farming too, but yes, the main thing is World Boss Legend and GBR. People believes that he's God, you know. I haven't built him, I don't even have the artifact, you don't need the artifact, but yes, I've seen him doing really fast runs, and I totally believe he is that high in the rankings. I'm not suggesting you to build him if you have, you know, if you're aiming for meta characters or something, but as a new player, he can help you with multiple other content through World Boss Legends, GBR and all this, you know, farming and all this. Yeah, the worst part is that he's not the best for anything, but he could be the best if there were, you know, something, a new ABL, like the dev notes told us that you need to use, let's say, human and blast or something for another piece of content and not ABX, because at ABX he sucks compared to Doctor Strange and some others. Number 5 is Adam Warlock, and Adam Warlock has been in the game with this uniform for a really long time, but still he is the only revive of the blast category. There is no other revives. You don't need his artifact to revive, you don't need anything, you just need the character to go there and revive. He is one of the best characters to use for timeline battle, challenger, for Vibranium a lot of weeks. He fall a lot after null drop, he fall a lot, you know, after sentry, but still you can find him right now if you go into timeline battle and see sentry is banned on Vibranium, so you can find him on a lot of people's teams because this revive helps a lot, and you can go there, counter attack. You can use him with multiple CTPs, but the best most of the people are using is Mighty Greed, Mighty Conquest and Mighty Energy. You don't need the energy to be mighty, but if you get it at mighty, you want to have all attack, all defense, because you mostly aim to have most defense and stay alive. You don't like the pierce buff. It's from the situation that you want to use energy that way. But in my mind, you know, energy does not have the super guard rate immunity that he needs to survive from time to time. That's why I have agreed on him, because he's better on autoplay. Conquest is equal and perhaps better in some cases if your account is not that defensive, you know. Conquest is gonna help you to survive a bit more. Greed is gonna help you kill enemies faster, and he is, you know, one of the oldest character on this list and still being on the meta. Of course, you can have his artifact, but it's not like you absolutely need it. If you get it, you can go into really high because he's auto healing. Without this, he's not auto healing, but his skills are healing him. But yeah, you end up running from the enemy sometimes to use your second skill, and in this time between, the auto heal helps you survive even easier. But yes, absolute top 5. Still, Adam rips through timeline battle, and of course, Alliance Conquest, other world battle. You can see him whenever he's not banned, he's there checking enemies, especially combats, and sometimes, you know, anyone actually. He can kill null, he can enable his mortality, he can kill sentry. This second skill, counters on his second skill, it's pretty toxic and can go from full HP to 0 with just a proper proc combined with a counter. So that's why people are using CTP of Energy, because if you manage to proc on your second skill combined with the counter attack, the enemy gets more than 300% extra damage, 300% damage proc on his face, so he's dying immediately. That's it for Adam. Let's see who is the next. And Adam and Hex are the only on PvP. No, it's not. There's one more. But the point is that there are not a lot of blast on PvP. And especially Townland Battle, you can only see him. And yeah, one more. On number 5 we have Gambit, and Gambit took a uniform recently. A lot of people felt like it wasn't that good and he should get reworked and stuff like that, but you need to consider that he doesn't have any team up collection affect him. I didn't mention, but Adam Warlock has the team up collection of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Cable is the main antagonist with our boy here Gambit. Gambit and Cable are close, really close on World Boss Legend performance, and Cable, to be honest, is kind of better, but you need to consider that Cable can take advantage of, depending on your team up collection, from 1% pierce to 10% pierce. 1, 2, 3, 5 and 10 are the options, so he has more pierce compared to him, and it's legit for World Boss Legend. That makes huge difference. However, for the ABL and the ABX, Gambit is way better than Cable, but way better. ABX too, people are sleeping on ABX performance, but I've made a video at him at tier 4 solo, and he was like 17.8 with a normal raids, close to 18 million. Well, my Doctor Strange with full brilliant raids, he do a bit more than 18 million. So you need to consider that he is top tier for ABX, but for ABL, with the same build with Cable, he can do, for my account, 500,000 more. My Cable has more build, you know, I built better Cable because we have him already all this time. I have the team up collection, and Gambit still outscores my Cable way easier. His rotation, it's kind of tricky, you need to get used to him. You know, during the live stream I was trying to play with him and I was feeling miserable. I was doing really bad scores, but then I played more, I practiced him, and he's doing miracles. The best CTP to use with him is a brilliant raids, you know. But yeah, raids also works, normal raids. And if you want to go a World Boss Legend, raids also works, but you would go, you know, for something like Mighty Energy or Mighty Destruction or Normal Energy. Actually it's the same, but Mighty Destruction need to be Mighty Destruction, be careful. And that being said, Gambit is a pain to proc on World Boss Legend. That's why I prefer him playing with raids even for World Boss Legend. And brilliant raids fits him because the damage he's doing gets multiplied by a lot from his tier 4 skill. His tier 4 skill is, as you can see here. Okay, let me show you. Let's equip whatever striker, and you can see that you get critical hit to all attacks. So if you enable your brilliant raids, the brilliant raids gives you 300% extra damage per critical attack. So if you press this skill for 10 seconds, you throw up criticals. Feels like you are not doing all the hits criticals, but supposed to be base attack and the critical attack in the same time. That's why you see small numbers. It's kind of weird the way the game shows the damage, but believe me, the buff he's getting from a brilliant raids compared to raids is really big. Think about same people using him and hit 14 million with a brilliant raids, goes there and hit 16 million, and this is a big difference for anyone, because you have to consider for most characters the difference from raids to mighty raids and from mighty raids to brilliant raids is 500,000. So he's getting way more buff from mighty compared and brilliant compared to other characters. However, you don't need his artifact. This artifact does give you some extra damage, and especially for World Boss and especially for ABL and some World Boss Legend. But you can see it's alien and super villain. It's like this artifact made specifically for to go and kill Surtur. So the character is the best for one thing, and this is ABL. I totally believe he is worthy, and he is at number 4 of this list, just because the number 3 is really busted. Yeah, you see right. It's not an illusion. It's Magik, guys. For real. This week, we took Sentry Bunch on Timeline Battle, and I had here as a recommended character. You cannot understand what he is able to do in Timeline Battle on manual play. I'm making a video. I had here and null and swap play between them. Here counter attack is amazing. C can go there and kill anyone, literally. Whatever null I faced, I killed him. See, if you go and put Adam Warlock as a character and Magik, I would say Adam Warlock is more useful. But in this current meta, against Wolverine and Null that have the immortality, this character is a piece of cake. I'm swapping my Null into Magik, going into her second skill, enable the immortality of Null and Wolverine, and swap back to someone like Colossus, go into... yeah, this video is gonna smash it, guys. I'm making it. I'm gonna do... I lost some games to learn, but I have the loses also to show you why I lost and how you can play better and smarter with Magik. But the downside is that you absolutely need the artifact, and the higher the artifact, the better the performance. But C is able to kill literally anyone. Literally anyone. The hardest enemy I found into Timeline Battle against her is Adam Warlock. Somehow he's not dying. But yes, the rest... yeah, I was killing everyone. And yeah, playing manual with her, it's a pain sometimes. She's not casting. But yes, yeah, you're gonna see. She is like run and hit, like now. You're gonna see it's really fun character. And this right now, at this moment, the other character is similar, is Madeline Pryor. Madeline Pryor needs you to have the artifact that she needs to, but in the same time needs you to spend 12 to 14,000 crystals to get the epic quest, to get all this, and have a character good for Alliance Conquest and Otherworld Battle. And for real, guys, Madeline is nothing close to what Magik is right now. She is busted and she is a null killer. And if I would say, Timeline Battle has a king, she is the queen. 100%. A lot of people are sleeping on her. You're not gonna see a lot of people using her in Timeline Battle, but I'm making the video, guys. I'm making the video. She is hot. I'm using her with a Mighty Conquest. The best to go is a Mighty Greed, because the extra damage helps you enable, the immortality of the enemy or one-shot them. And Conquest, it works really fine for me because I'm trying to survive more. My build is not that stacked. I don't have, really fat PvP account. But she is doing miracles, guys. She is doing miracles, and I'm gonna show you. You absolutely need the artifact, and yes, I wanna test her with a Brilliant Authority also. I've seen people using her with a Brilliant Authority. Reflect is the only thing that she has weakness, as any character that hit hard for Timeline Battle, Null, Sentry are dying immediately against Silver Surfer. But the point here is that she doesn't have a solid skill to kill Silver Surfers, and that's why I believe that she needs the Reflect immunity during the proc of your Mighty Conquest or Mighty Greed to kill the enemy Silver Surfer. But yes, there are not a lot of Silver Surfers. Right now there are a lot in Timeline Battle, but it's because Sentry is banned. So yeah, perhaps next week. For Sentries, she's also really strong. I test her and she is killing a lot of Sentries too. This counter attack is really nice, and I love her. But yes, number 3 for my girl, Magik. Silog is the number 2, and it's only because she has everything, every tag you need for ABL, and in the same time, she is the best female blast mutant. You don't have a lot to go for. You have like Storm, Cable, and Gambit, and still she feels to be the strongest out of all this. You can use her with a Judgment, but with Judgment she's falling a lot behind compared to Raids for ABL, and in the same time she is losing she has similar damage actually for World Boss Legend also, because she has a lot of buffs for her elemental damage. You know, she doesn't actually need the extra elemental damage from Judgment, and I would prefer using her with the raids. Raids feels to work way better on her. She's a good farmer also, and I use her in a lot of World Boss Legend stages with the same build for ABL. She's absolute smashing it. She doesn't need her artifact 100%, you can get away with it. You don't need the artifact. And as I told you, the only I would use for her is raids, and after perhaps a Judgment. Obvious reasons, ABL for her, and she is still the only female being that busted, you know. You need to buy the epic quest, etc, etc, but still she delivers for one more day to get 12 million, 15 million, or whatever you can score for ABL. The second is Rogue, and Rogue is behind like 1 million, 2 million for my account, both with mighty CTPs. So she is really busted. Compared to Gambit, she, you know, she's close to Cable. Cable is still better, but still, you know, having silog and participate in both days helps you, you know, focus your materials and your items on specific characters and get maximum out of your scores weekly. And the absolute number one, guys, is Doctor Strange Zombie. Doctor Strange Zombie, guys, has no value for PvP, but the value he has for PvE. Actually, for PvP, if you have Hex and you just drop him into Otherworld battle with her, you know, he's doing really nice, even with the raids. I'm killing Apocalypse, I'm killing Hulks. He is really busted, and he has removal debuff from Hex, he has extra buffs, and with the raids, he goes there and time freeze and kills enemies out of nowhere. But yeah, he is not that good for PvP. The main thing is that he is the number one character for ABL no restriction. He is the strongest. He is the number one DPS for no restrictions. He can go into ABX and be really strong too. You can use him multiple times per week, you know, for ABL and ABX. And for World Boss Legend, guys, he's shredding it. He is my top 5 clears. He, Luna, Venom, and I'm not Ghost Rider, and he do all this, you know. World Boss Legend is so easy with him, so easy. And yes, his rotation, it's spammy. You absolutely need a raids. If you don't have a raids, do not play Doctor Strange. Go equip a mini raids, a Nobility or something. Proccing on him, it does not make sense, you know. You can't do that. You can make it work, but it's really annoying, and I'm not suggesting to anyone, because the value you're gonna lose for ABL, it's huge. He doesn't need his artifact, but yes, I went through and bought it from the bingo and made it. Yeah, I'm rank 99. Yeah, I like him a lot. I haven't mastered him yet, but the score I managed to do is 16.5 on no restriction days, and I'm doing that only with him, Luna, and perhaps if I struggle with Loki, but I never have seen more than 16 million with any other character than Luna and Doctor Strange. So he's that strong. Luna's no strong and stronger. It's the character that Bob Sarge and 88 Melee deliver 18 million with the mighty raids. They did 18 million. They shared screenshots very recently. They did that, but still being able to do 18 million, which is the highest reward you can get in ABL, this, you know, this is busted. He has a lot of potentials, and if you master him, you can do miracles with your account. Believe it or not, you can do 15 million with him, even with normal raids at average account. And I'm doing more than 16 million, and look my team up collection. It's like this one, right? Yeah, I have only 3% extra peers. If I manage to get 10%, all this, I'm telling you, it's gonna be even better and even easier. So Doctor Strange is the king, is the god of Blast, and yeah, I'm waiting your opinions down below in the comments. I left a lot of people outside, you know. Sue Storm, Invisible Woman is really busted for Otherworld battle. to remove all debuffs also. But when there is Wasp, what's the point of having here? You know, Hex provides also the immortality, that's why I include here. Storm is a really nice character, really busted for Almost Legend at support, but yeah, you don't need here tier 4 to support you. You know, Cyclops, no, I'm kidding. Waiting your thoughts down below in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Waiting also the top 10 suggestions. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.